we're watching, it's mostly a scam by how people make money. So let's see.
Become billionaires before they hit 30, while others make millions selling trash from China through TikTok and Facebook ads. Some raise millions of dollars in venture capital to grow as fast as possible, while others build high cash flow businesses that pump money from day one. And some scam their audiences with bullshit products, while others provide actual valuable
Dude, how did people get scammed from Logan Paul's like egg thingy? Like, it seems like still trying to pay them back because this guy's like already a billionaire. So if people are still waiting on your money, then pretty much, dude, you're pretty much not getting your money like back at all. And if you were to invest in this, I don't know why you thought that you were going to make money out of this, to be honest.
Some scam their audiences with bullshit products, while others provide actual valuable insights to their community. But no matter what entrepreneurial route you take, most don't make any money at all. The world of entrepreneurship is confusing. What type of business do you start? Should you take on outside capital? Do I need a team or can I build it solo? What if the business doesn't work, is a waste of time, and you're a complete failure? Well, I can't answer all those questions. But what I can do is break down the business models that all successful entrepreneurs follow to get rich, which you can then use as a map to figure out which direction you want to go in. We'll be breaking down everything from venture-backed startups to content creators to brick-and-mortar service businesses. So without further ado, let's go.
Alright.
A venture-backed startup is what most people imagine when they hear the word entrepreneur. You build a high-growth company, usually software, tech, or something highly disruptive, and raise money from investors to scale as fast as possible. These companies don't care about profit, at least not in the beginning. They only care about growth. Customers, market share, attention. Make the product, get people to use it, burn cash, grow fast, and then maybe one day you exit. And by that, I mean sell out, either by selling the entire company or by going public. And that's when you, the founder, and your investors get paid. And if you've made it this far, you're getting paid big. You've heard all these massive success stories. The Ubers, Facebooks, Airbnbs. They're the rock stars, the cool kids. The person your ego tells you need to be in order to feel worthy of love and respect.
One thing that I find amazing about Uber is that they are a multi-million-dollar company without even like starting any like. There is not one thing that they have bought, like Uber, just an app. They're a billion-dollar company that doesn't own anything because the people, they have their own cars, and the people that use them just use their app, so that's how they get paid. Because for every like order you make, let's say you're going to go get food, then they get a small fee for using the app, and then the restaurant gets a small profit for using the app because they help them sell and stuff like that. But the fact that Uber, like a company like Uber, is so massive, like during COVID, they must have made a shit ton of money. The amount of money they definitely made is actually insane because DoorDash or Uber Eats, anything like that, any of those like companies, they made a lot of money because everyone had to use them, and a lot of people like would use it like multiple times a day because they did not want to go out and get COVID, of course. But a genius idea when you start looking at it.
But it ain't all sunshine and rainbows. For one, more than 90% of startups fail, which means they don't reach an exit point. They just die. Two, you give up a bunch of equity and control. And so all of a sudden, the passion-driven company you started years ago is now in the hands of money-hungry VCs licking their lips at the opportunity to make money off of your hard work and idea. And three, which I think for most of us would be the most important point, is how difficult it is for founders to actually get paid going down this route. Here's a couple of points on founders comp in venture-backed startups. First, the salary. Dog shit. See, as a founder, you're meant to believe in the success of the company so hard that you'll forego a comfortable salary now in order to make a shit ton of money later. And if you don't have this point of view, then your VCs are probably going to view that as a red flag. So, in your day-to-day, you're not getting paid shit. I already touched on earlier how the main way founders will get paid is through an exit. But there's a second way founders can sometimes get paid, and that's known as a secondary sale. During a later fundraising round, say Series B or C, a founder might sell a small piece of their equity for cash. So fundraising is where you sell equity for cash for the business, and secondary sales are where a shareholder sells equity for cash for themselves. A quick recap. Cool shit? You're gambling with investors' money instead of your own. Because of your investors, you should now have a much larger network, and because of your network, you should have a team of killers all aligned on a massive goal. And because of the money, you get to aim and tackle the big problems society faces. Pretty cool. Bullshit? Your equity in the company will be cut down substantially. Because your equity gets cut down, you'll pretty much never have full control again, unless you've done some tricky shit with your share classes, which VCs would probably never agree to. And now that you don't have control, you're pretty much forced to grow at all costs, as that's what VCs want to see on their books. Now imagine if you could have almost all the benefits of a venture-backed startup minus the bullshit. No investors, no dilution, no begging VCs for a second meeting. You build a product, maybe software, and sometimes even a hardware product, and you fund it yourself. You get customers, make sales, reinvest the money, and grow. Now in order for this to work, You've got to be a cash flow first kind of business. There's no room to fuck around. There's 3 ways to fund a bootstrapped business: your personal savings, debt, or the profit you're making from sales. More than likely, it'll be a combination of these. So, cool shit, bullshit. Cool shit, 100% control. You can get to profitability quick, and you're not answering to anyone but your customers. Bullshit, slower growth because you don't have a bunch of money to burn. And because you don't have a bunch of money to burn, you're gonna need to be real disciplined with your cash, which you could also put under cool shit. In fact, Jack Ma says more businesses fail because they've got too much cash that leads to poor decision making, which you can compare to a disciplined, lean business that's been forced to make the right decisions in order to survive.
When we don't have money, we don't make big mistakes. When I raised the $5 million US, I think, wow, I'm rich. So I tried to hire a lot of high-ranking people from those Fortune 500. When I hire them, I know something rough. For example, I want to make a marketing plan for my product. So I asked my VP of marketing. He said he made a plan for $30 million. And I said, I only have $5 million. He said, Jack, I have never made any marketing plan below $20 million. So how could you make succeed? And I think, wow, it's my problem.
And finally, the scariest bullshit, you've got zero.
What the fuck are you selling that you need $30 million to market a product? There's not the one single thing that I can think of that you need $30 million to like sell. Because what are you selling that you need $30 million to market? I feel like that's how much money you spend if you want to like get a showing in like the Super Bowl, like the halftime show. If you want like a commercial there, that's how much people usually spend, pay millions. But for you to spend $30 million, you can just grab that money and do something else with it. There is no way you should be spending that much. I can't even think of a product that would sell for that much either. Like for it to be profitable out of just the marketing, also to be like the things that you also have to like sell it like as much more times in order for it to be profitable. So whatever product you're selling, you have to make over $30 million to even be profitable, and that's also taking into account for how much inventory you have. I don't think you definitely should not have $30 million of fucking inventory to be able to sell. Like, that makes no sense.
Zero safety net. High risk, high reward. You want to bootstrap? You better have some big balls. This is one of the fastest and simplest ways to start making money on your own. You learn a skill, offer it to other people or businesses, and get paid directly for your time and expertise. No investors, no products, just you and the service people are willing to pay for. It could be freelancing, consulting, coaching, marketing, designing, building, anything where you're solving a problem for somebody else. What's cool is that you require little to no startup capital. You literally just need the skills and maybe a website, which means it's the perfect kind of business for someone with little to no experience to start. You could literally be a young, broke idiot right now. You could go teach yourself how to code, build a couple of good-looking websites, and then reach out to local businesses in your area that have shitty websites and tell them you'll transform it. Voila, you have yourself a service company. But as always, it's not all upside. In a business like this, time equals money. If you're not working, you're not earning. This then also makes it basically impossible to scale without hiring other employees. You can compare this to a software product you can code up. Once you've written the code, it can be sold to anyone, anywhere in the entire world, except probably North Korea, and maybe China, but fuck no. Anyways, if you're a brokey but want to start a business without raising or saving any money, definitely consider a service-based business. These guys cop a lot of...
Dude, honestly, I think the service-based industry is probably one of the best in terms of like software-wise, because after building software, for example, like I don't know, software. Let me think. Adobe, perfect. That's a software company. It's like creative company, but like Photoshop or Premiere Pro, anything like that, that's a service company. So you're not putting anything physical, but that software, they charge you $60 a month for you to be able to use it, and it's just a money printing machine. Once it gets there and once it's marketed enough, a lot of people use it. It's amazing, honestly. I say software is good, but like also if you're doing like anything manual, that's another thing. Like let's say your mechanic, you need a shit ton of like money to get started, and there's like some that you're able to do like easier. I guess like it doesn't take a lot of money for you to get started, but there's just a lot that are like service based that you need a lot of money to get started, and that's just kind of hard to get into because that means that you need to have like capital in order for you to get into it. But
and honestly, fair enough. A lot of the time, they're selling garbage products to idiots on the internet who get fooled by clickbaity ads on their Facebook news feeds. Admittedly though, if done right, it's as legit a business as any. So basically everyone knows what dropshipping is. You don't keep any inventory, a customer places an order on your website, you forward the order to a supplier, and they ship the product directly to the customer. You're basically a middleman with a website and ads. I think this aspect of e-commerce is bullshit. Can people make money from it? Absolutely. But they'll make more money once they start a YouTube channel and try to sell you a course. More on that in the next section though. The other aspect of e-commerce is a direct-to-consumer brand. oftentimes referred to as white labeling. This is the legit side to e-coms. You create your own brand. You probably even change the product up a bit. You order inventory, store it somewhere, either a fulfillment warehouse that handles this for you or your own garage. You ship out orders and make decent cash. This is how brands like Gymshark, 8 Sleep, and Dollar Shave Club were built. It's a couple of steps above dropshipping, and because of that, it requires a lot more. You need an inventory management system. You'll probably have customer support. You obviously need to manage your own shipping. You need to deal with international shipping issues, depending on where your products are manufactured and where your customers are. You'll need to have designed things like product packaging, instruction booklets, and a much nicer website with better marketing. It's a whole different ballgame. So, some of the bullshit. You're gonna need money up front. No real way around it. You need to buy inventory and pay for marketing, usually both Facebook ads and influencer campaigns. You'll usually have to compete with cheaper alternatives that people are selling on Amazon, which can be a pain in the arse. And you'll have to deal with international logistics and supply chain bullshit. Seriously, imagine your supply was in China and you had to navigate Trump's tariffs right now. The cool shit though, build a cool brand and you'll have real customer loyalty over the long term. You're a cash...
The one thing is that if you were a drop seller now, like your profit margins, if you were getting your products from China, your profit margin just like dropped significantly because you had to pay more to get them here. So that definitely fucked you up. And also, where it says need upfront capital, yeah, for drop shipping, you need some type of upfront capital for you to be able to get even inventory made.
Flow positive business, making profit on each order, or at least you should be, and investors and acquirers actually care about these kinds of businesses. I personally have sold 2 e-coms about 4 years ago for 6 figures on a website called Flipper. Now we've moved on to one of my personal favorites, obviously. And this business model is all about building attention. You post content online, people follow you, and eventually you monetize that audience. Some creators make money from the content itself. Others use the content to promote products or services. The ones who get really rich, they do both. So how do they actually make money? It depends on the platform, audience, and strategy. But here's a breakdown. 1, ad revenue. YouTube money, podcast sponsors, and I guess the TikTok Creator Fund. 2, sponsorships. Influencer brand deals on Instagram or video and podcast sponsorships. 3, affiliate marketing. Buy this using my link in the description and I get a small cut of the revenue.
What the fuck is that?
Buy this using my link in the description and I get a
what
small
even
cut
is
of the
that?
revenue.
Huge tentacle dildo dragon. 17 inches long monster dildo alien dildos glow in the dark. You wanna be glowing in the dark while putting that up inside of you? Butt plug for deepest sex. Horse not. Oh my god, animal dildo. For men and women. What the fuck?
Or services, like coaching, consulting, or freelance offers. 5, subscriptions, things like Patreon or Substack. And finally, number 6, which I think is the best option, selling your own products. Ideally, you work with your audience to build shit they actually want. Ryan Trahan's wife, Haley, has a YouTube channel pretty much all about books. Her entire audience is basically girls that read. She sold these book covers that protect your book when you travel. They sell out within the first 24 hours every time she buys new inventory. Or Mark Rober selling STEM kits to his science-based audience. Or Mr. Beast selling chocolate bars and Beast Burgers to his younger crowd. And this is definitely one of the coolest aspects of audience building. If you do it right and build a loyal audience, you can launch almost anything. People sell merch, chocolate bars, books, courses, consulting, literally anything. Provide real value to people for free and you'll get paid back later. One of the biggest bullshit factors though is that you're entirely at the whim of whichever platform you're on. Imagine being this guy from the Nelk Boys. I don't even think I can say his name or show his face, but he probably felt pretty secure with his audience and business, right? And then what happened? And it doesn't even have to be that severe. Social media companies are constantly tweaking their algorithms. What happens if one of those tweaks means your content just stops getting views? Overall though, I love it. I'm trying to turn this channel into a legitimate business and way to make money. I want to keep delivering you guys valuable content and eventually work together to make a product or service that benefits all our lives. Thanks for the explosive growth so far, it's been pretty amazing. Anyways, on to the next business model. Don't skip this section, guys.
Honestly, after looking at that, I honestly do think that like the creator one is just like the most, I won't say most profitable. There's definitely like, things that you can do to get money, but I say that content creator one is the one that will like, I guess, make you grow the fastest in a way. It depends how much work you put into it, obviously, but there's certain people that make a shit ton of money because they're able to, like, they're so good at like marketing themselves and putting content out there very, very constantly that when they sell a product, if people like them, they will buy it. Like the girl with the books, she definitely like sells out like every single time because she has a loyal following of a specific niche. So let's say that you do, I don't know, let's just say that you're a streamer or that you're like a content creator. You can sell definitely like some type of merch like Mr. Beast merch. I don't know who buys that merch, but like he definitely does make some. There's people out there that definitely like buy the merch from him. I don't know why they would do that. I personally don't think that merch is the best looking. There's definitely people out there that like have like way better looking merch, but people just like Mr. Beast, so people will definitely buy it, especially kids. A lot of kids will buy it because that's like majority of his audience, I think. But still, like Mr. Beast puts some amazing content, so yeah, well deserved. He makes bank.
We go to gyms, we get coffee from cafes, we get haircuts from barbers. We wash our cars, take kids to tutoring, eat food in nice restaurants, yada yada yada. And just because you've got more overhead doesn't mean you can't make a lot of money. For instance, I train at a jiu-jitsu gym. It's got over 500 members paying $50 a week. That's more than $25,000 a week in revenue. You've obviously got your costs, rent, staff, inventory, equipment, insurance, and whatever else. But once you build out systems to manage each, it can become pretty straightforward. Admittedly though, there's definitely some bullshit aspects to brick and mortar businesses that I would argue make them harder to succeed in than other business types. One, your upfront costs are high. In fact, you'll probably need a loan if you don't have a ton of savings or an investor. Two, it's not scalable. You literally have to go through the entire 0 to 1 process in order to set up a new location. Three, you've got location risk. What if you pick the wrong location? What if you pick the right location initially, but then something changes? What if your landlord's a piece of shit? In saying all this though, people are always going to need local services. You can't go to the gym or get your hair cut online. And so if you get your systems right and can build a loyal customer base, it can be one of the stickiest business models ever.
This guy is so right about the location risk, because you can have the best business, but if it's like in the middle of nowhere, your business will fail. Because let's say that you're like a clothing store. If you're a clothing store in the middle of nowhere, no one will go specifically to your store to buy clothes, especially if you're not like a big brand. They say that you're not a Nike store, you're just a Robert Grant, something like that. Some random guy out trying to make a brand of shirts, whatever. But if it's in the middle of nowhere, he will be out of business probably that same year, because he will have absolutely no sales, or if he does have sales, he will definitely not have enough to keep up with all the expenses. At that point, you're just setting up yourself for failure. And you know, let's say they put a surfing store, you sell surfboards in the middle of upstate Alaska. No one will buy that for you, because first of all, no one needs to surf in the middle of Alaska. There's no waves, and if you do have waves, there will be like absolutely freezing water to the point that you get sick. So no one will buy that from you. But if you're down in like, I don't know, somewhere in like Florida, where there's probably amazing waves, amazing beaches. If you're out there in somewhere like Hawaii, California, in like the beach sites, then you will be making a lot of money, because people will want to surf there all the time. But if you're in the middle of Alaska or middle of Canada, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, location risk, 100% right. It will absolutely kill your business if you don't have a location at the right place.
Build a loyal customer base, it can be one of the stickiest business models ever. I'm not going to focus on the low-level flipping and garage sales like Gary Vee. I think we've all heard enough of that.
I'm gonna make Monday morning my bitch.
But what I think you need to realize is that the concept of arbitrage is used at the highest levels of money making. Think about it. Car dealers are looking for undervalued cars to resell. Real estate investors are looking for undervalued properties to flip. Warren Buffett's looking for undervalued businesses to invest in. Is it the exact same as finding a wholesale deal on toothpaste, buying a bunch and selling a couple thousand on Amazon each month? No, but kinda. You wouldn't walk into the gym on your first day and try to bench 100 kilos, which is 225 for you idiot American. Same with business.
Mom! Mom! Mom!
And so maybe the coolest shit that arbitrage and flipping offers isn't the fact that you can start with almost no capital. It isn't that you don't need a team or product development. It isn't even that it's incredibly simple to start. Maybe the coolest aspect is that you're training a muscle that you'll take with you for the rest of your life in business, and can take to literally the highest levels. There's bullshit too. Obviously, it's a pretty manual and time-consuming process, which means it can be hard to scale until you build out autonomous processes and outsource systems. And then there's also the risk that you just suck at identifying value and never get the ball rolling. Flipping, obviously, won't make you a billionaire, but it can teach you the fundamentals of entrepreneurship fast. Spotting arbitrage, understanding markets, learning negotiation, and getting over your fear of selling and rejection.
He's right, like you can make a shit ton of money like flipping houses, but like it will take you probably like a month, or like around there, a month, 2-3 months for you to buy the house. Let's say you're flipping a house. If you buy the house after like, I don't know, it takes you like 2-3 weeks maybe to close the deal. Then you have to inspect it. You have to get all the people to like come in and try to fix everything for you to flip the house. That could take like a month or two. And then by the 4th month, you have to actually sell the house for you to actually be able to get that money. So you can walk out with a lot of money, but it will take you also a long time for you to even get paid. So it can take like 4, 5, 6 months for you to even flip one house. But if you think about it, let's say that you flip a house and you end up selling, like if you buy it for 200,000 and then you end up selling it like for 450,000, that means that you made around 200k after closing costs and everything. So 4 months for like 200k, if it's like a good flip, like a good house that you made a huge profit on, this is like just a dream scenario. It'd be worth it, obviously, but it would also be like a big stress in your head for you to try to get all of this done. New kitchen, new bathroom, anything like that. But yeah,
that fits your strengths, your situation, and your psychology. Not everyone is built for the same type of business. Let's start with your situation. Are you broke and need money immediately? That's a service business, freelancing, or flipping. Are you sitting on savings or cash you're ready to invest? E-commerce, bootstrapped product or service company, or brick and mortar? Still in school or working full-time? Content creation is probably ideal. Now we go another layer deeper. What are your strengths? Are you technical? Build a software or product startup. Are you persuasive? Sales, content, or audience-based business? Are you creative? E-commerce, branding and marketing, content creation, or product design? And finally, what's your personality like? For instance, if you're a creative and artsy person who hates maths, building an AI startup is just not an option. Are you hands-on and practical, or more analytical and curious? What if you're a highly social person who wants to move their body throughout the day? Starting a business related to personal training or coaching is probably going to be far more aligned with who you are than trying to solo build a software product. And what are you wanting out of business? Billions of dollars? A comfortable lifestyle? A purpose-driven business with impact goals? Self-awareness is arguably a more important task than achieving anything at all. What if you spend all this time achieving the wrong goal? Anywho, that's all for this video.
yo, he's so right about that, because everyone is different. So everyone has like different likings, different interests. So if someone tells you that this is like the best profitable business, it might not really be for you, because you might be interested in something else. Let's say that you like reading books, you might want to start like selling stuff for like books like the girl did. Or if you're good at gaming, you might be liking streaming. If you like math, you could be a mathematician or anything like that. You could be a teacher, if you like teaching, you could be a coach, anything like that. It all depends on what you like. So I absolutely agree with that, because I would not like to do a lot of things that other people like sell online. For me, it doesn't, like, I don't like that, but for other people it might be the best thing that they have heard of in the whole world. But yeah.
My dudes, as always, please leave comments below as to what other videos you want me to make. I always read your comments, even when you guys ask me to make a video on consultants and then it bombs. Anyways, love you all. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you in
That was a W video. Definitely liked it.